Welcome to JPL in 30, the highlight show for the Jamaica Premier League. Match week 5 of the Jamaica Premier League began with a matchup between last season's beaten finalists Dunbeholden taking on CAVALIER. The two-time champions CAVALIER had to come from behind to take all 3 points. Stephen Barnett opened the scoreline for Dunbeholden in the 23rd minute after intercepting a sloppy back pass from Gadale Irving, and Barnett had no issues bringing his gift home. CAVALIER pulled level right before the halftime break. Dwayne Atkinson converted from the penalty spot. These are the highlights. Find out how the second half unfolded. Donald Oliver and Chris Taylor were on commentary duties.
One goal is peace, but I suspect there will be other goals in this fixture. They served up an absolute cracker last time they met. All of 7 goals to decide a finalist. And who knew that these two teams would be the advert in recent times for this Jamaica Premier League powered by Digicel. From Dunbeholden, Damien Hyatt, of course, is in goal. There's a back four of Ricardo Thomas, Romario McPherson, Chevoy Watkin and Siobhan James. In the middle of the park, Fabian McCarthy, Shakeen Powell and Nicoy Christian. Up front, Cardell Benbow, Stephen Barnett and the returning Peter McGregor. They're coached, of course, by Jermaine Thomas.
Great to see Peter McGregor back in the starting lineup, fresh from his 45 minutes, as we said, against Cameroon for the national team. Had a really good season last year. As we take a look at the CAVALIER starting lineup, Jadine White in goal, Richard King, Giovanni Leng and Kyle Ming, the back three. In the middle of the park, Gadale Irving, Dwayne Allen, Ronaldo Barrett and Ronaldo Webster. Christopher Ainsworth, Colin Anderson and Dwayne Atkinson up front. As we take a look at the full-time highlights in this one. CAVALIER started off well, Webster driving that one goalwards. Damien Hyatt having to make the save, the parry over the bar. And then confusion here. Slight back pass from Irving. And then Jadine White was beaten. And Barnett in the 23rd minute converted. Neatly done to get by the custodian. And then just applying the finishing touches there. 1-0 to Dunbeholden. And they will create so many more chances. Barnett driving this across, and at the back post, McGregor, he'd want to forget about this night. Big chance missed. And then the other end, Anderson driving it across the face of goal. Nobody there in black and white. And then this over the top. And a tumble inside the box, the penalty awarded. Ainsworth going down. Atkinson from 12 yards. On the stroke of half-time, that was the equalizer for CAVALIER. Second half action now. More chances, and was ruled out for offside. Then Samuels with a finish there, but it wouldn't count. And then more nervy moments. They would have seen better days as Anderson gave it to Atkinson. Mix up at the back there. Dunbeholden. Watkin missing that header. And O'Dane Samuels couldn't mop up his mistake. But what a touch that was from Anderson to find Dwayne Atkinson, who got his second of the game. Wonderfully done. That's his third of the season as well. But Dunbeholden, they kept on pressing. And Dean Andre Thomas, last ditch challenge there, and it went wide.
Dwayne, another top performance for you. 2 goals here today, 3 on the season. It's been an excellent start for you so far.
Well, honestly, I'm trying to keep it up. But before the start of the game, my teammate Ling told me that he would help me get some goals, and he also told me that 2 more from me, so I also just come out here and just give him the job, and also need from my team.
Jermaine, a tough loss for you. You battled hard, but unfortunately leaving empty-handed.
I mean, football is so funny. We again, I think outplayed for most parts. Had majority of possession, created, I think, far more opportunities. But I think we were slapping in front of goal today, and we really paid for it.
Rodolphe, you certainly got the job done today. It's a tough fixture for you, as you mentioned at the start of the game. But as you said, an ugly win is better than a pretty loss.
Well, I don't know if it's ugly, but in the first half it was like raindrops. I just couldn't pick them up. They were all over the place, elusive. But it's a game of 2 halves.
And how would you assess your performance generally, well, especially in the second half? What would you have said at the half-time whistle? Because obviously, Double Holding had the better of the first half.
Oh yeah, I kept the game in perspective. I told the players that we were played off the park. I asked them what they are going to do to get back on terms. And we came up with a plan. You know, we know how fast we are in attack when we transition, and we just stick to it the whole second half.
Cavalier now 3 wins from 4 matches played, sitting in third on 9 points behind Harbourview and Montego Bay United, who are both on 10 points. Harbourview, however, having a better goal difference. The second match of Sunday's doubleheader at the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex in Kingston, Jamaica, saw Malines United defeating Inver United 1-0. It was left late in the game for the winner to be scored. Rashawn Livingston, in the 83rd minute, grabbed the winner with a lovely finish to get his second of the season. Both teams ended the game with 10 men after Javier Brown and Jeremy Nelson were sent off by referee Crystal Sobers. These are the highlights. Donald Oliver and Chris Taylor remain in the commentary box.
1 day, 1 goal, peace. The message couldn't be clearer as the teams make their way out to the middle. So just to tell you quickly the starting lineup for Ver United. In goal, Roger Williams, Alton Lewis, Ricardo Campbell, Fitzroy Cummings and Alwyn Strawn. Javier Brown in the middle of the park. Kenmore Stoddart, Ricardo Dennis, Tavis Grant, Jamar Wright and Tyrese Harrison is in the starting lineup for Ver United. For Malines United, Peter Harrison, of course, the captain, is in goal. Javon Brown, Janoy Williams, Janoy Campbell, Kemoy Phillips, Sean Plummer, Shenarda Green, Tyreek Wilson with a couple of goals to his name so far this season, Rashawn Livingston, Jason Wright and one O'Dane Williams, also a part of this Malines United team. As we take a look at the full-time highlights, and there are some iffy moments for Richie Williams in goal, colliding with the post on that occasion, and this was way over the top. Not a lot of good highlights there, but the opportunity for Veer going into the side netting there, and then this effort hitting the post. Wonderfully done from the captain Javier Brown, but just not striking the target as he wanted. Ball over the top for Wright, and he just managed to put that wide of the mark. Applied good pressure there, but in the end, again, couldn't hit the target. And opportunity there, wonderful challenge coming in from Strawn. Tonight Malines United another opportunity, and then this one from Dennis had to be held on to by Harrison. Went the wrong way. The Veer players thought that it crossed the line, it didn't. And then probably the moment of the game where the two players were given their marching orders. Brown, the Veer skipper, getting his second yellow card. Jeremy Nelson, a straight red for retaliating. And then Livingston, really good finish. Lovely. Just worked his way through a tight position there, and then just placing it past the goalkeeper, and it crossed the line. Wonderfully done by Rashawn Livingston, getting his second goal this season. Javon Brown playing that one inside, and the effort just missing, and that was all she wrote for the game.
Your second goal of the season, how big a result was this for Malines United today?
Well, it's a very big result for me because we've been working in training hard since the past week, talking about these 3 points is very important. You know, you have to get the points from early. So we came out and get the job done.
Linval, a tough loss this for Vera United. You're right in it all the way, but you're leaving without anything at the end of it all.
Yeah, yes, definitely. I think we lost concentration at the latter part of the game, you know, and that's why we lost the game today. You know, it's a hard one to swallow, but a part of the game.
Alex, this is a big result for Malines United. Only managed 4 wins out of the entire season last year. Now you have 2 in 4.
Very big win, you know. Kudos to the boys, you know. Well done. They showed grit. They grind out this one. What I said to them in the changing room, we've been playing well all season, and our ugly win is better than a pretty loss, and they did that today, and you know, push us up more in the table, and well done.
Malines are now sitting in 5th on 6 points after winning 2 from 4 matches played. This is highlights from match week 5. We take our first break. JPL 30. We'll be right back. Welcome back to JPL 30. Match week 5 continued on Monday with another doubleheader. CHAPELTON Maroons got their first win of the season when they defeated 2-time champions and many-time finalists WATERHOUSE. Former St. Elizabeth Technical High School standout Raheem Brown found the lone goal of the encounter after firing home from 6 yards. Here are the highlights. Donald Oliver and Ollie J. Williams were on commentary duties.
So the teams made their way out to the middle and hoping to move up the table, hoping to make an impact. WATERHOUSE, of course, they know what it's like to be further up the standings, to be leaders, to be in the finals, to be champions as well against these first-timers from Clarendon. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for WATERHOUSE. Kamar Foster is between the sticks once more. In front of him, a back four of David Edwards, Damian Binns, Malik Cockings, and Denada Thomas. In the middle of the park, Shamar Booth, Ramon Howell, Shaquille Bradford, and Gregory Messam. Up top, Deborah Gray, as I said before, with a couple of goals to his name, and he's paired alongside Zane Hilton, the number 23.
Yeah, look for the strikers of WATERHOUSE to try and get in advantageous positions, try and see if they can get in behind the CHAPELTON Maroons backline, and look out for players like Gregory Messam and Shaquille Bradford to create that incisive space and create that pass.
CHAPELTON hoping to improve with each game, and they have Kemar Brown in goal, Ronaldo Christian, Tremaine Williamson, Osani Ricketts, and Jamari Howell, a back four. In the middle of the park, Javel Ellis, Jamari Morrison, and Alex Gale up top. Rashai Parchment, the schoolboy on the left, Raheem Brown in the center, Navon Lindo on the right. As we take a look at the full-time highlights here. Parchment inside the area, getting some assistance from Howell, and Morrison with an effort that was gobbled up by Kemar Foster. Morrison would be even more instrumental in the game as he would provide the assist. Parchment started it off, played it inside to Morrison, lovely first touch and an emphatic finish. That's how they opened their account this season, with some wonderful football. And Raheem Brown with the finish in the first half. Smiles all around, but they had to do some defending, and WATERHOUSE came close. Well, not with that attempt. That should have been better from Deborah Gray. Wonderful ball inside from Ramon Howell, but Gray couldn't find the target. They continued to come close. Bradford's effort was gobbled up by Kemar Brown. And then this from Damian Binns, striking the woodwork. And back into play. Powerfully struck, really. And the keeper was beaten there, was never going to get across. And Howell again inside, and the header off the bar. Again, they were close, WATERHOUSE. And then this was almost an own goal from Parchment, trying to clear. And then in the second half, more opportunities. That was such a bad clearance, but the finish should have been better from Zane Hilton. And that's all she wrote for this game.
How do you feel about the team's performance today?
Well, first and foremost, I have to give thanks to the Most High. It was a hard-fought victory. We just stuck to the game plan and we executed well.
How do you think the team played on a whole, seeing that it's your first win of the season?
Well, a lot of grits and guts. It's a hard-fought victory, and we just went out there and gave it our all.
Coach, it wasn't the result that you wanted. What do you think about the performance today?
I think we have a poor performance today. At the start, today was one of our worst performances. But such is a game. We have to take hard from it and come again. Spirited team effort from CHAPELTON today. Probably deserve to win the game.
How do you feel about the team's performance today?
Very, very pleased with the team performance. I thought we dug deep today because going into the break, we knew that we had to get something promising, to encourage the players going into the break for the season to go out there and push.
So, at halftime, what was the message? What did you tell your players for that spirited performance in the second half?
At halftime, it was, okay, we're leading 1-0. We're not going out there to defend it because normally when teams are leading 1-0, they try to defend that, and that's a very fragile lead. So we decided that we were going to stick to our game plan and try and manage the game in 15-minute intervals.
Mount Pleasant, one win from 3 matches, while Portmore United still searching for their first 3 points of the campaign, having drawn all their games played so far.
Tonight, feature
Portmore United.
Mount Pleasant Academy and Portmore United.
They have been a stubborn bunch, and of course, with every story that accompanies Mount Pleasant, it's a matter of ambition and living up to their high standards that they set for themselves, especially when they go in the transfer market and get so many players to be involved with their squad. From Mount Pleasant, Tafari Chambers in goal, Kimani Campbell, Shaquille Dyer, Jamoy Topi and Sule McCullough make up the back four. Alwyn Harvey, Kevon Isaacs and Ricardo Morris in the middle of the park. Up top, Demario Phillips, Trevante Stewart and Dwight Merrick. Of course, they are coached by one Theodore Tapper Whitmore. Portmore United. This is the starting lineup for them, with Benjamin Williams in goal. He wears the number 13. Emilio Rousseau, Rudolph Austin, Stephen Young and Gawain Austin. The back four in the middle of the park. It's a 5-man midfield. Siegel Knight, who wears the captain's armband tonight, alongside Andre Smith, Kenny Charleston. Jevick McFarlane finds his way back in the starting lineup, and Rowan Beadle behind Tevin Scott, who I'm sure is still on a high after that spectacular goal against Garnet Gardens last time out. Their head coach, Philip Williams. As we take a look at the full-time highlights here at the National Stadium East Field, Sule McCullough had the biggest chance of the game. Benjamin Williams was in the way there, denying him. Had to move to his right to make the save. There is Beadle's attempt. Tafari Chambers, well positioned. Rousseau's delivery inside. A shot from Siegel Knight, way over the top. And then a big opportunity here, Tevin Scott. And Chambers in the way, in the right place. Kimoni Bailey, what a chance that was on the volley. And he puts it over the bar. And that was it for this contest.
For the first time this season, you're the man of the match. What do you make of your performance tonight?
For me, there's a lot of work to do. It was a good game from not just for me alone, for the entire team, but it's a case where we just need to score goals. We are defending properly, so we just need to get the goals.
Yet another draw. What do you make of that performance?
I mean, it was a good tactical performance from our boys. We know what we had to do to nullify this Mount Pleasant team, blocking the passing lanes and forcing them to play in the areas that we want them to play. And I think the guys put in a good shift where that was concerned tonight.
You didn't get the result you wanted, but your team played well in some phases of the game. Talk us through it.
Well, again, I think the final third of the pitch let us down this afternoon.
we weren't get in and around Portmore, creating enough chances, and that caused us not getting 3 points this afternoon.
Results from the non-televised matches are Humber Line going down 1-0 to defending champions Harbourview. Montego Bay United defeated Arnick Gardens 2-1, and Falkland and Tivoli Gardens played to a 2-all draw. That's all we have for you this week. This has been JPL in 30 on CVM TV and your home of champions SportsMax. Tune in next week for the Jamaica Premier League, powered by Digicel.